All right, sport fans. So I fixed that unexpected issue. Somebody could change their mind. Okay, so do I want to edit this item? Nah, I kind of changed my mind. So I'll just clear that out and I'll check something else. Select something red, get the red hots up there. And, we're going to buy some red hots and just test market them and update. So let's see the red hots now. Um, 12 units, 450 comes out to $54. And I also made it so that you can pull it up and you can either just leave these blank or put zeros in there and then update that. And the poppers, ginseng poppers red hot are zeroed out. Now I'll show you in a second, behind the scenes I zeroed out the stock quantity. So if the cost is set to 0 and the inventory is set to 0, we also need to zero out the stock value, which I did in code. But again, we're pulling a product onto screen, then we're making some changes. And I mentioned in the other video, we're only allowing changes to these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. It would be normal to allow other employees to make changes to other columns, like let the accountants make changes to some of the more financial columns, or let the manager do overrides to the sales price. So you can have many different procedures to update columns of a row, of a retrieved row. But I just want to say again for effect, sorry I pound things in, but something to think about. You techies, writing SQL statements is easy, but you got to really understand the business problem. Okay, we're zeroing out stock, but maybe there's still stock out in the bin in the inventory, or maybe so there's two realities is my point. The computer reality and then the real world reality of, hey, we still have some stock we got to get rid of, and again, if you're changing stock is one thing, but often when you make a change in one table, you really have to update other tables. So that's the hard part of coding, is thinking through, wow, this is really a 9-step update. Updating one column or one row is not much, but really there's a lot going on. So let's just show the code. So again, you bring a product onto screen with this yellow one, and then make the changes to these 5 columns, and then save it. And it's just our good friend, the data adapter, doing the work for us again. So I had to really think through, because I'm allowing them to not have a value. So you can't use the same error checking for updating a row as you are the edit error checking for inserting a row. When you insert a row, and this is up to management. This isn't up to the developer. So I instilled, maybe I'm the manager and the developer, but I instilled the rule that when you insert a product, it must have a cost and inventory quantity, even if it's 0, so they can't be nothing. But when you're editing, there's different thinking going on. So I'm allowing it to have nothing in these 2 columns. Now we can't require something in a checkbox, because when it's not selected, that's not bad. So we don't do error checking on a checkbox, but I'm only going to make sure that they have a product with the category. If they want to leave the cost and inventory quantity blank, like fill it in later, that's okay. So my point is the error checking is different. So I just made sure If they didn't put it in a text box or category, stop. All right, so what's interesting is we retrieved the one row into our array, row 0, and then it's right to left, so you take that column out of row 0, so I wish it said dot column product name, but it's dot item. So take that value and stick it in the text box. Well, that's how you get the value onto screen. Now we flip it around. Okay, take the value on the screen and go stick it in my column of the array, row 0 of my array. So now we're kind of going backwards. Take the values from the web page, put it in the column for the array, and there's only one row, row 0. So go take the value from the web page and put it in the column for row 0 in my array, and then go push that all back. So there's my array, one column. Take that value, push it back to the database. This is one line of code running dozens and dozens of lines of code. So did you write the parameterized update set statement? No. So that's okay. We're going to use this command builder to do it for us. So the data adapter, because it has a command builder, so line 661, you just jam that up to the top. Sorry for that. But so the edit a line has command builder. All right, I'm just laughing because I thought I wish there was a go-to. One of the first things I learned in coding is that there's go-to, but I've never needed it. So, but Controls G is go-to. So I'm going to go back to 661 and hit OK there. So there we are. So this global data adapter is going to run its update method, and the command builder writes all the SQL for you, so that's easy. But take the data in the array and go use it to go update the database, and the database is specified in the data adapter, which table to update. So GDA edit a product. You see, GDA edit a product is for, it knows that it's for the my products table. So it knows which table to go update, the my products table. Let's try that again. Control G, 661. Oh boy. Now I don't have to scroll. All right. So that's how it works, but so we're taking the values from the web page and pushing them back into row 0 of our global array, and then we're running the data adapter.update. Why did we use a global data adapter? Because the other procedure retrieved the row of data, and now this procedure is saving the row of data. So one procedure retrieves the row, the other procedure pushes the row values back to the database. So we couldn't use a local data adapter for that. I suppose we could have used 2 local data adapters, but that's kind of goofy. Just use one and make it global. So pushing the data back, we're scraping the data out of the web page, and we're putting it back into that column for row 0. So these items are all easy, but I was thinking about it. I only want to do calculations if they put a value. If they put a value into the cost text box, okay, then we can safely do a calculation. if they put a value into the cost text box and the quantity, stock quantity text box, okay, then we can safely do a calculation. If we left it 0 or just empty, then it would probably crash. So I'm not taking any chances. So if the program user put cost or stock quantity, all right, so we're letting them put in cost or stock quantity. If we let them put zeros in there or just leave it blank, it's just going to save zeros into our database. Now, so we protected these lines of code. Well, if they didn't put a number, is numeric equals false, then just put zeros in those columns. If they did put a number, then take the number and put it in cost, but also take the number, bump it up 50%, and that's our sales price. What's the 50% go to? Salaries, rent, insurance, paying off Luca Brazzi, things like that. All right, so we're protecting our code. We're protecting our code. So this calculation only happens if there's numbers in the column. So that kind of makes sense. But again, we're taking the values, we're putting them back into the columns for our global data table, row 0. So put all the data back in the columns that you want to push back to the database, and then this update statement pushes those changes back to the database. So that update, dataadapter.update, works because the command builder wrote the update set code for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so after you push the values back, then we're going to clear the screen here and empty this out. So clear the screen and then go refresh the product list on the products page that's in this grid view here, and refresh the reports. So in another view are reports about products. So again, calling, that's one of the benefits of using a web page. I suppose you could call store procedures 1, 2, 3 in a row to go do something. But here we're cleaning up the screen, refreshing our data, pulling data back from the database onto the screen, recalculating things. All that's a lot of functionality. And that functionality is going to be used at several places. So this clear is run in several places. So is the, get the product list. That's done on several different places. So write once, run many. So you don't want to have the same code repeated in your web page. You want to write, so some code is reusable. Some code is specific, but some code is reusable. So go save data, and then go clear the screen and update things and update the report. So this could easily, line 6, these 2 lines here, could easily be, 80 lines of code that are repetitive. So why do we use the write one, run many? Is that what if you had to change that code and if you had a block of code that you used 4 times, are you going to remember to change it 4 times when you're asked to change something? Probably you'll forget one, and that's how things happen. So we use general procedures. So write once, run many. And again, a general procedure does not have a handles on it. So clear. Yeah, so clear products. That does not have a handle, so that can be called from any other procedure. All right, sport fans, that's the end of your chapter 2. What should we do next? Thanks for your efforts.